This is a drawing. It started out with just a couple quick slashes of the brush and some ink to create the nude. And then when I got home, I went in and added the rest. So we have here, I'll get in close, you could see that I used a black here. So I'm going to go in with a purple again this time and just darken certain areas. To give even more depth. Now, one thing is kind of fun to do, and I do this, is when I've been in a drawing workshop with a model, I'll take my drawings, put them in, take a picture of them when I'm home, and then I modify the light source, contrast, and see if it makes a difference. If I like the resulting image better, and if so, I go in on the drawing and darken that as well. So, you've been seeing me do this. Just darkening certain areas. Again, I had decided my light source is coming. Let's see where I could get my pen so you could see. The light source is here. It hits the nose and this part of the face. And there is what is called reflective light. So that over here, there's some kind of wall. And a wall reflects light back onto surfaces. That's why this whole hip area is not in a really dark shadow. It could be, but it's not. So let's go back in here and just do a little bit of darkening. I'm telling you, it's very hard to do exactly what I'm doing now, which is pay attention to my videotaping and to the drawing. So I went in first with a line and darkened that. I'll move away so you can see how that chair becomes much more defined than it was in the beginning. And you can go back and redo the video, watch the video again, and see what a difference it makes. So here's something that you love to draw, which are the eyes. So the eye really is a hole in the skeleton. And then quite literally, we have a ball that is our eyeball. And the skin has some depth to it. So it casts a shadow. Then we have the eye crease. Some people don't have that due to genetics. But if there's a ball here, that means that this is rounded. So as it recedes, it would cast a shadow and would get a shadow from this side and this as well. And that shading would follow. So the pupil would be darkest dark just underneath that eyelid. So even though you think black can't get any blacker, it usually can. So Probably this is a light-eyed person, but it could be like a tiger eye, a green, with some yellow. I think your mother's eyes used to be like that. I'm not sure it's still like that. So you notice the difference in those eyes. They stand out much more vibrantly. And then the eye fold, which is really literally the skin folding, going into that eye socket and coming out and wrapping around that eyeball. Same thing here. So it recedes in the eye socket is down here. That's what it looks like. It's about that, the hole is about that big. So it's quite large. And usually as we age, or if we have puffy eyes, it goes around in that socket area. So it follows the structure underneath. So this is a good reason that one should have a good anatomy book for artists. Now, I would suggest, Ulu, somewhere along the line, you start asking people if they're going to send you a present for Christmas or birthdays, that they either contribute to your art library by ordering you some books that they find exciting art-wise, or they send some to Barnes & Noble or whoever you want to order from, like Amazon. You'll notice that I use a lot of directional lines to further give depth of a surface that's round. Then we go to the neck, and at this point, it looks a little flat compared to everything else. So, decidedly, this area would be very, very shaded. And I use what is called free expression line. Sometimes people ask this, oh, there must be a million lines in your drawing. And I go, well, not quite a million, but a lot. And even sometimes when you don't exactly follow the shape overall, it doesn't make a difference. Notice how all that stands out. The thing with shading and doing a drawing is you might have to go in and out. So we went away from where her rear end hits the head, but because we darkened all of this, we had to go back and darken that as well. You see how that turns out? The next lesson I'll give you is more shading with an animal, and then we'll move on to trees and inanimate objects. But the very best way to learn about that is to take your sketch pad and a pen or a pencil. Usually I say a pen because then you can see your lines and you can't erase them. And really draw from what you see outside.